Speaker.
Malole Saifua Ian McKelvey.
Mr. Speaker, I've got a great feeling at the moment. Never in my time have I heard the sheep have so much mention in this House as it has in the last couple of days. And of course, you've got to go back to the 1952 wool boom to get the feeling that's as good for agriculture as it is right now. Secondly, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, what a privilege to be a member of a government led by the Prime Minister John Key, who's able and prepared to spend a significant amount of money and a significant amount of energy supporting those people through the child hardship package who don't have the best start in life. Like everything else, it comes with some obligations. There will be an obligation to look for work. There's also an obligation to the taxpayer of this country who funds these things. An obligation to be work ready where possible and to have their children in education or care from the age of 2 will assist them to make good progress. We're increasing the childcare assistance rate from $4 to $5 and putting an extra $25 a week in their pockets, which doesn't sound much. But, Mr. Speaker, when you go to some of my communities, and Taumarunui would be a good example of that, it could well be a boost of an excess of apologies, Mr. Speaker. It could well be in excess of a $1 million injection into that economy. Follow that up in Martin, Fielding, and about a half of that in Ratahi, Shannon, Taihape and so on. This is a significant boost to rural and provincial New Zealand, and will also help those people grow in confidence and give them the confidence to stay in those communities where there's no question that the tourism and agricultural sector will increase their job opportunities. So I think we're going to see quite a significant change in provincial New Zealand as a result of those initiatives. Whānau Ora, of course, also receives some $48 million in the budget. And again, if you go to some of my communities or my electorate communities, and particularly Taumarunui, you'll see a program that is working so well in this respect. Pretty amazing, in fact. I think it does a great job, and for our community is making a significant difference. Ultra-fast broadband will benefit by some $210 million, in turn will cover or put 80% of all New Zealanders on that track when complete. But more importantly for us, of course, is the Rural Broadband Initiative and the extension to it. It's critical to us, and I certainly support the telecommunications levy, which will help fund the rural broadband extension. If we want our rural and provincial areas to grow, rural broadband is one of the single most important factors that we can concentrate on. It will enable them to get moving very quickly. The regional research institutes are another great initiative, I think, as are ACC levy cuts, which will put some $375 million in 2016 into our economy. In fact, the ACC cuts have amounted to just on $2 billion from 2012, will have from 2012 to 2017. I'm also very pleased to see the significant injection into science and innovation, and equally as pleased to see the Reddit Centre at Massey University, which has made a significant contribution in the last year or two or the last few years to research around, critical science and food-related factors. I'm very pleased to see that refunded, and I think it's going to produce great results for us. Mr. Speaker, the investment in Kiwi Rail is vexing for any government, I guess, but the $210 million of new capital introduced into that organisation will make quite a big difference to rural and provincial New Zealand. Much of our produce comes out of those rural towns and ends up in our ports, and Kiwi Rail a very important part of getting that produce into that sector, into that market. I also want to talk very briefly about workplace safety, because I think it's critical to rural New Zealand. It's a factor that's been giving a significant amount of grief to those of us in rural New Zealand. We certainly have an accident rate and a death rate that we can't be proud of, and I think this government is making significant steps. The government is making significant steps in the advancement of that, and I'm sure when we get this legislation back into the House, we'll see it in great order, and we'll see a significant improvement in our performance in rural New Zealand around this. Mr. Speaker, there's so much in this great budget aimed at continuing the strengthening of our economies and certainly of significant assistance to rural New Zealand. I look forward to the result of this, and I think that we're going to get a great result as we move on in the next year or two from this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Malole Saifua Louisa Wall.
Talofa lava, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very